Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is gonna be on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Okay, now I love the Mission Impossible series. To be honest with you, I got turned off by the third one, and I didn't even watch Ghost Protocol and the other new ones until recently. But I could not believe what I'd been missing over the years because I thought they were all great, all the sequels. And when I heard Dead Reckoning was coming out, that's when I just binged watched all of them. I think it was the last three I binged watched just over the past few months. And I was turned right back on to this series because all of them are great. So, went to go see this one. I was hoping, that it wasn't going to fall into the trap of sequels, that the more you do, the less quality you get. So, I was really thinking that I was going to go into this and be disappointed, especially knowing that it was 3 hours long. But was I? No! This movie was amazing. Guys, it's 3 hours long, okay? But I'm telling you, it wasn't like Indiana Jones 3 hours long, which is not a bad movie. I still say go out and watch it because I think it's a great Indiana sequel. But that being said, at the 2 hour mark, I felt the weight of that movie. But going into this, I thought that was going to happen. But I'm telling you, even when it ended, I was ready to watch more. I was not bored for 1 second of this movie. It was really enjoyable. It was a fun ride, a thrill ride. It's spy espionage, and Tom Cruise just being Tom Cruise and not really being Tom Cruise. It's more about being Ethan Hunt, and he's just an amazing actor. The stunts that he did in this film, I saw some of the featurettes and stuff, going into this. And I'm just impressed by the guy, honestly. I mean, he has some of the best movies. I mean, I think there's 3 or 4 of his movies are in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. This one is going into the top tier Mission Impossible movies. I mean, the last 3 were great. The first 2 were great. I just didn't like the third one, and you might think that one's great, and that's great. This one had me excited even when I left because, it's part 1. And I even told my buddy when we went and saw it that I'm not really a big fan of part 1, part 2 kind of thing. I don't like it when movies do that. So that was something that had me trepidatious going into this. But I was not disappointed. I mean, it ended nicely. It didn't end up being like an abrupt ending and a cliffhanger. I mean, it's kind of a cliffhanger because it has to be if it's part 1, part two's coming. But it didn't feel that way. It felt like a contained story. This thing had a beginning, a solid middle, and a solid end. And I was very, very impressed and very, very happy coming out of the theater. I mean, this is why I go to the theater for movies like this. And you should too. And another thing that I love about this movie was the villain. It's artificial intelligence is the villain in this movie. That's who he's trying to stop. And I thought that was brilliant. It's always some other organization, or whatever. But this really made it feel like the times, because that is a real fear for people. That's what made it believable. The whole scenario, everything that happened in this movie, except for some scenes, were very believable. You gotta suspend some disbelief, just to have fun. Don't go in thinking that everything you see in this movie is like realistic because it's not. But that's okay. I really felt like I just got off a roller coaster when I was leaving this movie. I mean, it was great. And I mean, not just great some of the time, it was great all the time. Go to the theater and see this movie. I'm advocating for it. See it this weekend because if you're a moviegoer and you like action, suspense movies, this one is for you. I'm telling you, you will have a good time. It has everything. And even had a little humor. Thank God they didn't do what other movie tropes are doing now. It's like everything has to be funny. The humor felt natural. The action felt natural. The dialogue felt natural. I was really on the edge of my seat the entire movie. And I'm talking like 2.5 hours. I was on the edge of my seat, and that made it a great time for me. But anyway, it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Have you seen the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Do you plan on seeing it? Let me know in the comments below. And also, I'd like to know, what's your favorite Mission Impossible film? I'm very curious to know. Mine so far is this one. So anyway, let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!